Book One was about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. One of her advocacy, the impressed lioness, guiding women back to their inner throne, as well as a fellow podcaster, no other than Miss Karen Mitchell.
Everyone.
welcome, welcome, Miss Karen on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
I sure can. Um, so my name is Karen Mitchell. And I am the host of a extraordinary, powerful podcast called The Empress Lioness. I am a CEO, mother, wife, healer, and the founder of a movement dedicated to helping women lead from within.
Yes, and thank you so much for empowering women all over the world, as well as sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Thank you. And today let's talk about returning to the woman you were before the hurt. Oh, wow. I like our topic for today. Miss Karen, the premise or returning for the woman you were is fascinating. Is it goal truly to return to who she was, or is about integrating the past self with the lesson of the hurt to become someone new and even stronger?
Exactly. It's returning to the woman that you were prior to the trauma, prior to the toxic relationships. It's that woman that we lose um, when we go through different experiences in life that causes us to transform into someone else that we don't even know.
Hmm. Wow. I like that, Miss Karen. Many women feel that the person they were before is almost as a stranger. What is the first step in reconnecting with that seemingly lost version of themselves?
Well, I'll start off by telling any woman that has lost herself during the trauma is you have to heal that trauma first. You have to go within who you are as a person, as a woman, and find out what hurt you, what trauma you went through, what toxic relationship caused you to become this person that you don't even know. You have to begin that healing process, or I should say, first recognizing that you are not that person you were before, and then trying to locate that person. Going on the healing journey is where you have to start. Once healing starts, then you can start to remember who you are.
Healing the journey first. For sure, that will be the first band aid. Can you describe a woman before the hurt? What are the key qualities like trust, lightness, or spontaneity that women often feel they've lost?
Well, I will tell you, using myself as an example, because every woman is going to experience that different, right? But I take it back to when you're a child. When you're growing up, there's innocence, you trustworthy, everyone, you trust everyone, right? And there's that innocence about who you were prior to life experiences, to life traumas, to life disappointments. So for me, it was bringing the innocent back, bringing the inner child back, and recognizing all the things that I liked to do when I was younger or before I became an adult, or even before the incident. So for me, it would have been before I turned 17 because I had a very traumatic life experience after 17. But I can remember who I was at 17 or even at 16, and there was innocence involved. I was trustworthy of a lot of people, not knowing that I was actually going to be prey for a predator. So that's who I'm learning before the trauma.
Well, predator indeed. And why is the concept of returning so powerful? Is it about rediscovering an innate self that was always there or buried under protective layers?
I would say both. So you are recovering the person that was already there, the one that God made you to be, or that you came into this earth being. You came in with certain gifts, you came in with a destiny, you came in with a life journey. However, when you go through traumatic experiences in life, it kind of alters it. And so you build up a barrier. You build up what I like to call survival mode, whereas you build a wall around yourself to protect you from predators, to protect you from disappointments. And you're blocking everyone out, but you're also blocking yourself out, your true self. So it's both.
Both, people, both.
Yes.
And on the process of healing and unlearning, Miss Karen, what does the practical journey of returning look like? Is it slow, gentle, or unfolding, or are the pivotal moments of reclamation?
I will say this, it all depends on the person, right? So for me, that healing journey was a long journey because, one, like I said, you have to acknowledge that you need to heal. That healing has to begin. And once you acknowledge that healing, now you have to find the pathway to begin that healing journey. And for me, it was looking within, asking, the universe, God, whomever you associate, the higher part of you for. And you have to find out, how can I start? For me, it was ayahuasca. I did ayahuasca in the jungles of Peru, and it opened up a whole nother journey for me. It made me understand why I needed to heal, from what, and where do I go from there. So the healing journey for everyone is going to look totally different. For me, it was a long, slow process. And then when I got to a certain point, I found like it sped up a little bit, but once you realize that it's needed and you start the process, the length is all up to the person.
It's up to the person itself who is experiencing. So, hurt often installs what you might call internal alarms, hypervigilance, self doubt, or critical inner voice. How does a woman begin to disarm these alarms and feel safe within herself again?
That's a challenge, because even for me, it was. So for me, what helped me a lot was, one, doing the work on my own, setting the boundaries, knowing what my worth was, even when no one knew or believed in my worth. That's something I had to start off with for me. That was the foundation. Believing in Karen, believing that Karen can and will accomplish all the things, and I am who the universe says I am, and believe in that. But also having powerful people around you that are going to believe in you, that are going to hold you accountable and encourage you. It takes a village to get here. And so, luckily for me, I had my husband, I had my family, my children, and they encourage me and empower me every day, which is what I want to do for other women, because a lot of women, they don't have that village. They don't have, a group of persons that surround them, that will encourage them to want to do better. And so for me, I wanted to put a bridge between that gap, and that is where Daughters of Enlightenment came in. That is what sparked the Empress Lioness podcast and my YouTube channels, because I wanted to be that village for other women. I wanted to gather a whole bunch of women and be a village for each other, encouragement and empowerment for each other.
Miss Karen, a lot of healing focuses on moving on from the pain. How is the process of returning oneself different from simply moving on?
It's never just moving on, right? Because
Yes.
it all depends on your healing journey. Everyone, like I said, is going to go through it a lot differently. They're going to process it a lot differently. Some are slower than others. But for me, my healing journey is one that I'm still going through. To be honest, it doesn't stop, because as long as we're living in this world, there are going to be people that are going to disappoint us. There are going to be situations that we find ourselves in. There are going to be different experiences in life. That's the whole purpose of life. Is going through this journey that we call life, which is going to be filled with experiences. It's going to be filled with different people. Just there's a whole lot of twists and turns, and so your healing journey, it starts, it progresses, but honestly, I don't think it's ever going to end. I think you just take one day at a time and you try to work on your work on the inner person, and you perfect it as you go. But as long as we're alive, the journey won't ever be over.
A lot of healing focuses is some are not applicable to others. What is the best thing the best thing that you can recommend to someone healing in their first stage?
I would say get rid of the negativity. Anyone or any person that is always bringing you a negative energy and negative vibe, get rid of them. And it's very hard to do when you are trying your best to try and fit in with the crowd, or fit in with even with your family. Like for me, I had to cut all of it loose. There was a time in my life that I had to separate myself from the noise, separate myself from people that I know is not sharing for me. If they're not sharing for you, then you need to drop it, let it go, and work on yourself. Don't go out, don't listen to secular music. Like, just try to center yourself. I use meditation, I use moan baths. I just always try to get my mind to a place where I can de-stress it, reflect on myself, look at myself in the mirror, and say, what is it that I can change about me? What is it that I don't like looking back at me? And then I try to fix it. You can't do that with all the noise around you, with people and negative energy and vibrations around you. You can't really do that. So solitude is something that I would recommend anyone trying to walk the healing path to start by doing that.
Miss Karen, how does a woman handle the fear that by re-embracing her open, joyful before self, she might be making herself vulnerable of being hurt again?
And I'm sorry, what was the question?
How does a woman handle the fear
The
that
fear
yes, that
of being hurt again.
re-embracing, yes.
So I would say fear is something that keeps us hindered, right? And any woman that is afraid to get hurt or disappointed again, I would say push through it. If you push past that fear, because you may run into someone that may not have those intentions. You have to use your discernment as a woman. We all have them as human beings, not just women. We have that thing that's in the back of our mind that tells us go left or go right or don't do that, or that person's energy, it's making me feel kind of weird, even if you can't put your finger on it. But there are other persons that can come into your life and make a huge difference, but you're scared and you're closed off, and that's because we have built those walls up of protection, and it's keeping good and bad out, good and evil out. So I would say take those walls down. You can't truly live a full life until you push past your fears, until you push past what you call disappointments. That's a part of life. And if we allow fear to keep us stagnant and keep us from exploring what the world is all about, then you would have lost already. And is that really living? No, it's not. We can't live in fear. We can acknowledge it, but we have to push past it.
Miss Karen, as a fellow podcaster and empowering women all over the world, what are your short term and long term goals?
So, my short term goal is to get as many women as I can on board so that they recognize their power. The long term goal for that is that each woman that intercount or that I'm sorry, each woman that intercounts the Empress Lioness or even the DOE tribe, they can teach another woman or help another woman. So my motto is each one teach one. You pass it along. My long term goal is that there are a lot of women out there in the world that can formulate their own villages, build strength and power. It comes in numbers so that they can empower other women, especially young women in society that don't have any idea what's out there. Um, the long term goal is to get them in a place where they can talk to each other, bounce ideas of each other, and be the Empress Lioness that we're all meant to be.
Well, good luck to your goals, Miss Karen, and looking forward for more success. So what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Don't be like me, be better than me. Everyone walks their own path, and it's up to each individual to understand who you are as a woman, what you bring to the table. Do the reflection work. Who do you want to attract, and what are you attracting? Because you are what you attract. So I like to tell other women out there, be better than me. Focus in on who you are. Welcome who you are. Embrace it. Because each one of us, there's an empress lioness in all of us waiting to roar.
Waiting to roar, and thank you for that advice, Miss Karen. Well, women all over the world, let's roar, as Miss Karen advised. So, can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yes. So one of the books I really enjoyed was by Miss Louise Hay. She did an excellent work that helped me. It was called "You Can Heal Your Life," and I used that as a catalyst in my healing journey when I did ayahuasca. It opened up a lot of questions for me that I had to. It made me answer it myself. It made me think, and I think it also helped me on my healing journey.
Thank you for that recommended book, Miss Karen. And the woman who emerges from this process, is she the same woman from before, or is she a new version? How would you describe her?
she's a she's the woman that she's always been before the trauma, but she's only just recognizing it, opening her eyes to the possibilities, because the woman that I am today, I have to give credit to the experiences that I've been on in life, and the people I've encountered. They have shaped me and molded me, and I have learned a lot from those journey. But I would say that the woman I am today has been the little girl that I've been from the time I got here. It's like the fire that was inside of me was not lit, but after the healing and after doing the inner work, that fire is now lit, and I'm ready to take off like a rocket. So yes, those things have molded me into the woman I am today, and I'm so very proud of who she is.
And be a rocket. Okay, and roar, as Miss Karen said. What does home like feel like within yourself when you have successfully returned? Is it a feeling of peace, alignment, or something else?
Home for me is very much peaceful. This is where I get my centering from. This is my home is where I can channel in the energies where I get really great vibrations. I don't allow anyone in my space that's going to be negative. This home is my sanctuary, and it helps me to be able to rejuvenate, energize, and go out there and keep fighting the fight so that other women can find their own peace and sanctuary within their own homes so that they can go out and be the lioness that they're meant to be.
The lioness and the rocket. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Karen, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in third season, and my
Awesome.
food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101, our fourth season, science 101, sex 101 in its second season of my baby podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever
Yes.
you listen your podcast. So, Miss Karen, ultimately, what is the most empowering truth a woman discover about herself on this journey of return?
So, the most powerful truth a woman can discover about herself is that she is a woman. She captures feminine energy like no other. And we need to learn how to embrace our femininity.
Yes, people embrace, become a lioness and a rocket. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Karen. Thank you for empowering women all over the world. So, can you please invite your invite our listeners to listen to support your podcast, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, so we just launched our podcast. It is called the EmpressLioness.com. It's our website. You can listen to my podcast on Apple and Spotify Music. We have a YouTube channel. You can see it at Karen R.F. Mitchell on YouTube. And of course, our nonprofit for all of you women out there that's looking for a sacred space called Daughters of Enlightenment. Join our DOE tribe. And you can hit us up on DOE at info@doetribe.com. Thank you for having me.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Karen Mitchell. Because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself, more and more empowering advocacy for women will rise. So, Miss Karen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
More come, people. See you soon.